Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to show you about how to turn on the MSB. Okay, first of all, before there was have two parts, which is before we turn on and after during the turn on the MSB. Okay, before turn on the MSB, there was a precaution for the handling the MSB, which is we must prepare for the protection for the hand MSD, which is for I show you, it's actually for the safety boot, and then insulator of the glove, and helmet, and it is for the PPE, which is stand for personal protective equipment, which is we specifically we use the fire hazard suit. And then lastly, we actually also we need to check in the room of the LVSB that there was a fire extinguisher, and after that after we list all of that we can handle it. And before that we also need to 1 week permit before we handling the tutor on the MSB to let the customer know that for their prepare for their own things. And then we also need to check the logbook for the history of the MSB, and then we also need to study the single line diagram for the use of the MSB. Okay, after that we're gonna go into the part 2, which is during the turn on the MSB. Okay, as you can see that this is our MSB. Okay, to turn this actually in the off condition, and then which actually we need to turn on that. We need to use the turn on button at beside the MSB, which is turn on the supply, and then this is the key part of the important things, just this we call the ASB. Okay, this is our ASB. Okay, to turn on this, we need to make sure the two things, which is this is one for the connect, this one is for the coil for the charge or uncharge. Okay, to turn on this SCB, which is stand for air circuit breaker, there was actually kind of handle to turn on for the connected SCB. This one connected to the bus bar. And then we actually need to take the some kind of like a rod, and then insert it in the this one inserted, and then we need to rotate it in the clockwise in order to turn on the ASCB. And then we rotate it until it shows that connected, and then after it connected, we must store the rod in here, and then we must pull it in order to make sure this one indicate charge, which is how we turn on it. We must pull this handle for several times until it shows from discharge to charge, and then after it shows this actually connected and charged, this one is indicate light, and also shows that this for the bus bar. After that we turn on the power factor capacitor in order to work this one, and then we also turn this one the NCCB. Okay, for the NCCB part 2 is also the step also the same, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Anifidaz bin Azli. My matric number is AE180039. I will present about the coupling of NFB1 and NFB2. So, as you can see here, this is part of NFB1 and this is part of NFB2. Usually, the occasion of coupling both NFB is there are a fault or the ACB or circuit breaker is under maintenance. So, first thing, if there is a fault or we want to maintain the ACB, first we need to turn off the supply before we take out the ACB. When we want to turn off the supply, to the consumer, we need to have their permission or consumer permission. Then after that, first we need to shut off all the supplies like this, turn off, turn off, turn off, and at the end we need to check the bank capacitor here. After we turn off all the supply here, so to verify there is no current flow, you can see at the ammeter. After that, we can turn off our air circuit breaker. To turn off our air circuit breaker, we just push this button and it will turn off. So the bus bar supply indicator here will turn off. After that, we will turn off the main supply. To turn off the main supply, there is a part here, there is a component here that cut the power supply. So to take out the air circuit breaker ACB, we just need to have a charging handle. And the charging handle, we just put it here anti-clockwise. Like this. And make sure the ACB is at isolate state. Then we can take our LCD for a maintenance. Sometimes we do a maintenance for the LCD. A consumer need to use some load here, so to supply power to the load, we can coupling the other NFB to the NFB that used to maintenance. We put it key here, we take out this key and put it here. This key stay here and this other key we enter here. After we enter both keys, we need to determine which NFB we want to switch on first. So since NFB 1 is coupling to NFB 2, we need to turn on the NFB 2 first. We turn on and we turn on this. So
Then we can turn on the load that consumer want to use, and then we give them a call or inform them to ask whether they already consume the power or not. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman Ahmad Syukri alias Kapiten. I will present the normal supply restore. First, before we doing the activity on lab, we must wear the safety gear, which is safety glove and safety helmet. So we continue our procedure. First, we must notify the consumer to turn off power supply. When it's ready, we turn off the power supply here, and after that we remove we turn off the capacitor power band here. So after that we check the current status. The current should be 0 because there are no flow and there are no connection power supply to ACB and MCB. So after that we must turn on the C1 isolator clockwise, and after that we check the bus bar supply, that should be the energized, and after that we must turn on the isolator C2 from MSB 2, and after we turn on we must take the key for C2 and we insert the key at this key. This is C1 key, ASB key and C2 key. So after we insert and connect, and we take the ASB key and we insert here to the ASB compartment. So after that, we give the power supply to isolator, from isolator to ASB, and we check the indicator here, bus supply, and we check the voltage. It shall be the power supply connect. So after that, we take the rope and we insert here, and we rotate to clockwise until the LCB indicator reach the connect position. When finished, the rope was taken out and placed back to the LCB compartment. So after that, we pull the changing handle many times until the charger until the charge display appear like this. It become the yellow here. After that, we turn on the ASB, which hit this button. After we turn on the ASB, we check the bus bar indicator and voltage stator to ensure the balance condition. So when all this is complete, we must inform the consumer when the power supply of MSB is complete and ready to meet the load requirement. So after all this complete, we back to our first step. We turn on the capacitor band power factor, and after that we turn on the RCCB and power supply. So after we done, so we check the current status to determine whether there are any activity in the present condition. So after this, we must wait for a while to confirm that the system is stable state condition. So when we confirm the system there are no problem in the system, we remove the sign H. We remove the sign H, and we record all the work that we do in this logbook for service record LVSB purpose. After we record everything and we complete everything, and we must close the permit application permission. And that's all for me. Thank you very much.